Hey there, YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris. Today we're here watching the first game in a best-of-5 match series between Grubby, spawning as the Protoss down in the 6 o'clock position, against DarkForce, spawning over in the 9 as the Zerg. So this is actually from the Starcraft.world, or StarcraftWorld.it, rather, King of the Hill series. It's a weekly show match that takes two top-level Starcraft players, throws them in a dark room, and they fight it out until the death. No, well, okay, maybe it's not that exciting. Maybe a couple thousand years ago that's what they would do, but now we're a little bit more civilized. We've got computers in the dark room, and there's snacks and sandwiches and all this stuff. No, but seriously, they get these players together, and they're fighting a best-of-5 match series for 100 euros. So pretty exciting stuff. Like I said, it's a weekly thing, so if you want to check that out, you could actually just head over to StarcraftWorld.it for more information. Now, I'm looking for an exciting match from Grubby in particular. I haven't had a chance to watch him since he departed from Team Evil Geniuses a couple months back. Wow, has it been that long already? Jeez. Well, here's the deal. Let's actually go over some player information and give some clarification as to what these guys are doing, where they come from, etc. We have Grubby, 25-year-old player from the Netherlands. Or like Netherwinds, am I right? I got nothing. Real name, Manuel. He is a Protoss player, obviously. He is formerly of Team Evil Geniuses. I think he left at the end of March, something like that. And as far as tournament participation goes, in recent times, he took third place in the 2011 Copenhagen Games. Pretty exciting stuff there. Also, he's a participant in the North American Star League. Yeah, pretty cool tournament there. And so DarkForce, on the other hand, let's talk about him for just a minute. The Zerg baller that he is, real name Jonathan. He's a 23-year-old player from Germany. He's actually on Team Alternate, so he currently is on a StarCraft 2 team. Nice little probe harassment there, trying to zap that drone. Obviously didn't work out too well, though. So, anyways, former Warcraft 3 player. Pretty cool stuff there. I think he played Orc, if I recall. Yeah, I think that was it. And anyways, yeah, this guy actually, he doesn't participate in massive tournaments that I've seen. I think he's done, well, no, maybe one or two. But this guy is like the medium tournament king. He participates in so many things on a week-to-week basis. He is a participant in the Sennheiser Cup. A lot of those go for SC2, a lot of those as well. 4players.de, Close Combat, and Zotac Cup. So if you want to find out more information, you can actually just go over to teamliquid.net, check out the TLPD. It's the link over in the middle of the screen. Type in the player's name, find out the information, up-to-date statistics, etc. Oh, this poor probe. Come on, you can make it. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're good. You got this. Alright, so with these guys spawning back-to-back, it's going to be a pretty exciting matchup. Grubby, of course, already has his wall here set up and good to go. Had some pretty good scouting information, kept that probe in for a while. He spotted the spotting the timings on the gas, the spawning pool. Of course, you know he's expecting there to be an expansion dropping down, even though he hasn't seen it. It's just something you know that DarkForce is going to do. And now he's actually moving out a little bit here, trying to chase away that Zergling. I'm wondering if it's going to lead to maybe, I don't know, his money's kind of building up here. I'm wondering if he's actually going to expand. That's really one of the few reasons I can think of you'd let your money get up this high at this point. You see, he's also moving his forces out, again, trying to drive away that Zergling. Doesn't really want to give DarkForce that information. Although, DarkForce, I'm sure he knows, okay, Protoss is moving out. He's got a Sentry and a Zealot. He really wouldn't be moving these forces way out here exposed unless he was trying to drive away the scout and try to maybe get an expansion himself. So, sure enough, he kept the Zergling around. He came down here. He spotted the natural. He spotted the pylon. And, of course, this expansion's got a ways to go before it's going to be able to catch up to what DarkForce has here. DarkForce, of course, is dropping down a Roach Warren. This actually went down around the same time that he confirmed that that Nexus was there. So maybe he's looking to put some pressure on there, since he knows a lot of money is going to be going into this expansion. 2 additional gateways dropped at the bottom of the ramp. So right now, in terms of production, Grubby only has the 2 gateways here. That is currently it, compared to DarkForce, who has 2 hatcheries here. And you see, he just popped out 1 Overlord and 2 more. He's cut drone production entirely. Sure enough, 7 roaches are now on the way. So he is indeed going to be looking to put some pressure here in the near future. Now, looking at Grubby, what could his response be? I mean, he's got the sentries down here. Okay, so he's going to be able to have some great force field action. These sentries, I think, are going to be sitting here for a little bit before the force fields are really needed. And we see Grubby actually just kind of moving his horses around. He's checking for scouts, basically. Is there a Zergling here? You know, is there going to be an attack coming in the next couple seconds near my base? No? Okay, so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing right here. Now, if this attack actually does take place in the middle here, which I would be kind of curious to see if it does. Uh-oh. This is definitely not a place that Grubby wants to engage right now, simply because of the fact, yeah, sure enough, all those Zerglings and the Roaches, he would have a very difficult time burning down all of the forces. So you see, he actually lost one sentry there because he didn't stay and fight. He doesn't want to engage so far away from his base. He wants to come down here into this nice and tucked away position. Look at this. We've got the warp gate, the photon cannon, a nice wall set up right here. So it's going to be pretty difficult for those Zerglings to come in and get a surround on the units. There are the force fields going down. Again, doing a good job separating out the Roaches. You see they're split up in a couple different spots there. And this is really going to allow Grubby to take down those forces 2 or 3 at a time. No big deal, you know, coming from DarkForce. He's trying to bust it down. You see, he's got plenty of Zerglings on the way, and I do want to point out, while this is going on, he is taking the time to expand. So even though he was not able to do serious damage down here to Grubby, he still was able to bring the fight to the Protoss, keep the harassment, keep the sentries away from the natural expansion, and drop his own base. Of course, he is also going into Tier 2 right now, still running on a 1 Geyser, but looks like he's actually going to drop that one as we speak, dropping 2 more at the same time. So pretty interesting stuff there, although I would say, yeah, that's definitely something he's going to have to do since this layer has completed. Evolution Chamber going down here. Alright, we got Burrow as well, and we also have the speed upgrade for the Roaches. We see he's doing a pretty decent job spreading the creep. That's going to be really important down this this avenue right here. No pun intended, since it is Metalopolis, land of a million roads, but still, definitely going to be a high traffic area, this spot. We see that the Zerg player is controlling both watchtowers. I think that's a very smart move. Even though it's likely a lot of the traffic is going to be taking place on this half of the map, you still expect to see some footwork over here. Maybe as an attempt to run around, etc. So Weapons 1 is on the way for the missile attack upgrade. Alright, good stuff. And Spine Crawler, so we're going to probably expect to see him continue to macro up here a little bit, as he knows that the Protoss is still trying to build up his forces a little bit. And for the past couple minutes, hasn't really been in a good spot to counterattack. You see Grubby actually is going to be able to pop off this Overseer. This poor Immortal just wishes, see, he's tilting his cameras up. Oh, I could try so hard to shoot up, but no, Immortal, alas, you cannot. You are doomed to always shoot straight ahead of you. But that's okay, because we still love him anyways. A couple scouts coming down here for DarkForce. Wants to keep an eye on this expansion. Let's see, did it actually live? I think it did. Yeah, it saw that expansion right there. So, looking over here, Hydralisk Den going down. Think that's a very good decision here. Hydras, of course, very, very good at taking out those Stalkers, very good at the sentries, and pretty much everything that we see here. Of course, force fields can push those back and make them not quite as effective otherwise. But I'm going to be looking really to see what Grubby does in response to seeing those Hydras up here. Let's see, does he have any up here? No, he doesn't. He's just got a few Roaches. That's about it. But he does have plenty of Zerglings on the way, and whoa, a little bit of lag there. Alright, cool, got that settled. I do like how Grubby realizing, you know what, maybe I can at least come up here. I see that I'm going to be kind of hard-pressed to do a full-on attack, but he can at least take out some of those creep tumors, cut down on the run distance. That is actually going to make it a little bit harder for DarkForce to move around once he gets these Hydras going. That creep, of course, is essential for getting those Hydras moving around the map. Hydras are so very slow when off of the creep, but obviously, getting the creep down there is going to be something that I'm just yammering on about. So let's actually move on to the Protoss player a little bit. We could see, alright, he's got another Immortal on the way. It's going to take him a total of 3. I think that's actually a pretty good thing to do at this point, but he's going to have to watch out. Get too many of those, and you're really going to have to start worrying about those Hydras and Zerglings being what DarkForce pumps out. Say, they have an engagement, Protoss wins, but barely. Next thing you know, you're going to have a crap ton of Zerglings coming over here from DarkForce and just swarming down Grubby, so he's going to have to definitely make sure he balances out his forces there. Maybe as the game goes on, get a couple Colossi here. I'm definitely thinking he's going to have to get that at some point. But for now, I think it's definitely a good thing since those roaches are a very clear danger. And oh, what do we have here? Plenty of overlords. Got a whole bunch of zerglings loaded up as well. Maybe he's going to do a drop in the main and then attempt to attack from the front. Definitely a chin-rubbing time. Looking here, we see also DarkForce has taken another expansion. Zerg is moving out the long way around. He does still control both watchtowers here. Here comes the drop from DarkForce. We'll see how effective that actually is in the coming moments. And Grubby did have some forces here, but you see he's actually looking to just move out and maybe engage the Zerg over here. Of course, this Observer spotted that. Overseer came in, killed the, or allowed the Hydras to kill the Observer. A couple Zerglings running around here. This is going to give Grubby an idea that, alright, drops are now a danger as well, since there's really no other way those Zerglings can come up here. A Nidus Worm, but obviously we have not heard that noise just yet. 2 Colossi are on the way. It is definitely going to be a very much needed addition for Grubby's army. Oh, taking out the Overlord right there. That's going to knock him down a little bit, but you see he's obviously oversupply right now, so not going to be a massive loss there. DarkForce continuing to reinforce this expansion. Couple Spine Crawler, or Spore Crawlers rather. 1 Spine, 1 Spore, building over there in the mineral line. Speaking of minerals, we could see 71 to 73 right now, and oh, another drop maybe. Look at this, both players have over 2k minerals per minute, as Grubby looks to move out and force an engagement over here at the Zerg natural expansion, while the Zerglings are actually running around. Oh, but they will meet their doom very quickly. 3 Colossi are more than enough to take it out. You see the shields have obviously gone down there. But you see the Protoss is actually going to kind of fall back just a little bit. Of course, he wants to have those Colossi with him before he actually runs and engages. Now look at that, 4 Colossi in this army. Greater Spire is on the way with 4 Corruptors, but will it be enough? That's going to be the question here. I'm not entirely convinced. We can look at the army and see 176 to 198, but you look at the composition, that's a lot of roaches, and there's a lot of force field energy here. We could see 5 centuries worth of full energy. And as he does look to take this expansion right here, this actually will be, oh man, this will be a really nice thing to hold here if he's actually able to. But now I'm kind of wondering, how is DarkForce going to respond to this? He has a few infestors. Okay, so that's good. He's going to be able to lay down some fungal growth. Fungal growth, of course, recently receiving a buff, doing additional damage against armor, and also reducing the time that it takes for the damage to be applied. But look at this, 2 Colossi wed up position. Oh no, Grubby, you lost those. Oh, that is just not a good thing to have happen to you, especially at this stage in the game with 5 Broodlords here and more Corruptors on the way. So Grubby is going to be looking to make liberal use of the force fields. DarkForce, of course, has those Broodlords morphing in right here. He's going to want to try to hold this position. He doesn't want to cancel this at this point. That would lose a lot of time having morphed these things already 3/4 of the way in. But force fields, Grubby is doing a very nice job here. He's pushing in very slowly, ensuring that each spot he's able to only allow the Zerg to have a few of his units engage at each point, and forcing the Zerg continuously fall back. And now he's pushed to the point to where he is able to take out those Broodlords. Look at that, only one of them is left, and he's able to get a very solid concave and move in for the kill. There are those Zerglings we talked about. However, there is still 1 Colossus here. He is going to have to micro that and make sure he's very careful. Nice blink right there. It's going to allow him to continue to guard the Colossi. You see there's now 2 of them. 3 of them. Another one coming in right here. You can see he does have 2 weapons upgrades, so he is going to be able to make quick work of those Zerglings. And now if you look at the army size, 151 to 129, look at that right there. 69 to 71. And we can actually look at the units killed, 180 to 45 units, or the resources lost. Look at that. Zerg has suffered some very heavy losses so far in this game, trying to defend against Grubby, who just did a great job in that push, using the force fields, didn't blow all of his load at once, just a couple here and there, enough to push him back to get those Broodlords. And now look at that, the fungal growth has landed on the Stalkers, but really, what can DarkForce do at this point? He's got more Stalkers on the way. He cannot break through to the Colossi. 2 additional Colossi here, although they're not shooting. There we go. And you can see, even though the Stalkers have been defeated there that were guarding the Colossi, the Roaches are gone, And now there's one Broodlord here trying to hold the ramp. Of course, he's actually doing a pretty good job of that when you consider how much time those Stalkers actually spend on that ramp there. But alas, there's nothing that DarkForce can do at this point. One Corruptor, you see the units are just kind of staggering out at this point. They're arriving from the hatchery, different points, and really DarkForce is struggling to push this attack away. But look at this, 153 to 120. You see plenty more units are being warped in right now, 9 additional Stalkers. And again, there's that pylon at the top of Grubby's base paying for itself. Once he has that, once he has Colossi, he's got the Blink Stalkers. It is just a super short distance from Grubby's base to DarkForce. You see, all he has to do is come down, warp right here, blink in using the vision of the Stalker, or the Colossi, and now you have a GG in game number 1. So Grubby is taking the lead here in this best of 5 King of the Hill series. Let's go on to game number 2, see what happens next.